Let's take a look at piecewise functions graphing on TI-84 plus calculator. Our first problem. We got tablet blown up. Bring up a new version. Okay. So we got f of x is equal to x minus 3, x plus 1, if x is less than negative 2 and x is greater than or equal to negative 2. Well, we got the x minus 3, and we got x plus 1, and we got x is less than negative 2, and x is greater than or equal to negative 2. What you want to do is drop the f's. You don't want those. And we want to put parentheses around the pieces, around the x minus 3, around the x plus 1, and we want to put parentheses around the x is less than negative 2 and x is greater than or equal to negative 2, the conditions. Now we're going to put this on y1 on our calculator, and we'll put this on y2 on our calculator. Okay, so we got, press my y equals, I press my clear to clear out whatever's there. Now do beginning parentheses, x minus 3, closing parentheses, and then beginning parentheses, x. Now if you're wondering where do you find these less thans and greater than or equal to's, they're under the test menu, and that's above the math. So if I do second math, then I'll find them. And I want my less than, which is the fifth one, so I can down arrow to it and press enter on it, or simply press the 5, the number's in front of it. So negative 2, closing parentheses, and then down arrow, and then a beginning parentheses, x plus 1, closing parentheses, beginning parentheses, x, and then second math, going to test, we want greater than or equal to, which is our fourth one. And negative 2, closing parentheses, and then graph. And that's almost our answer. I won't spend a lot of time sketching this. Just like that. And then this one goes like that. Okay. Now, x is less than negative 2. This is negative 2 here. So less than is this piece right here. Since it's a less than, it doesn't have a line underneath, then that means it doesn't include this point. And this one would be an open circle, open dot. Now this one's a greater than or equal to. The equal to, the line underneath, means it includes this one. So this is going to be a solid dot. And that would be our answer. Let's look at this next one. We got, this is our first problem. Second problem, we got f of x is equal to 2 negative 2x, x squared plus 3, if x is less than negative 2, negative 2 is less than or equal to x is less than 0, and x is greater than or equal to 0. Okay, let's write this down. I got 2, and then I got x is less than negative 2. And this one I got x squared plus 3. This is when x is greater than or equal to 0. Remember, we put parentheses around the pieces and parentheses around the conditions. There we go. Now this one is negative 2x. And I'll put parentheses around it. Now let's take a look at this one a little bit closer. Imagine the less than 0 is not there. Reading it from right to left, I would say x is greater than or equal to negative 2. So x is greater than or equal to negative 2. When you got a three-sided inequality like this, it's an implied and. So we put and here. And then if I covered up the less than 0, or covered up the negative 2 is less than or equal to, we'd have x is less than 0. And we put two parentheses around a condition like that. Okay, now let me repeat what I said. You cover up the less than 0. And normally in class I cover that with like my finger or something. And reading it from right to left, it says x is greater than or equal to -2. That's this part. Then the and is there automatically. Then I cover up this first part, and -2 is less than or equal to, and I'm left with x is less than 0, which is where that comes from. Might be fixed on newer TI-84s, but if you try to type this in exactly as you see it, it will not work. Now this is how we're going to put it in. And I'll put this on Y1, put this on Y2, and I'll put this on Y3. Okay, let's see what that looks like. So I'll press Y equals, I'll press clear on Y1, go down to Y2, clear that out. Okay, so we've got beginning parentheses 2, closing parentheses, beginning parentheses, X. Remember the less than's underneath your test menu. So I do second math, and less than is my fifth one. And then -2, closing parentheses. Now down arrow to Y2, and I got beginning parentheses, -2x, closing parentheses, beginning parentheses, x is greater than or equal to, so I'll do second math, go in the test menu. Greater than or equal to is number 4, so do 4, -2. Now the and. You do not want to try to spell and with letters. If you go back into your test menu, you do second math, you see the logic menu. If I right arrow over to that, that gives me my and. So you can press enter on and then we got x is less than 0, so x, and then go to my test menu. Less than is the fifth one, 0, close parentheses. And then I'll down arrow here, and I'll do a beginning parentheses, x squared plus 3, closing parentheses, beginning parentheses, x is greater than or equal to, so I go into second math. Greater than or equal to is my fourth one, 0, closing parentheses, and then that's our 3 lines. If I press graph, then that's what we're going to get. Okay, so let's see. That. Like that. This is just sketching, so doesn't have to be perfect. Like that. Okay. Now this first one. This is x is less than. Less than means it doesn't include it. So this is an open dot, open circle. Greater than or equal to, so this be solid. And I could look up here and see it's greater than or equal to this, but this one's a less than, which means this is an open dot here. X is greater than or equal to 0 will be a solid dot there. And that would be our graph. It does everything except for the open and solid dots or circles. And that's graphing piecewise functions on a TI-84 plus calculator. Now you can clear those out after you get done. You can come here and press clear, down arrow, clear, get all those back to where it was. In second mode, exit out.